Hi, hello. My name is Shrita Neely, and I'm a dual enrollment student this semester taking Pulse 1101, and this is my final exam presentation. So, my prompt today that I was given is recently the Supreme Court has considered the question of whether state law enforcement agencies should have jurisdiction over Native American reservation lands. Please address your views on this question. So, my answer is yes. And why? So why did I choose yes? This is because I believe they should. Uh, I believe a government should control should have control over Native American reservations, as it's not private property if they aren't living in it, like the reservations. But if Native Americans are still in the reservations, it shouldn't be the state's government's land, as it's private property owned by Native Americans. Furthermore, like the First Amendment states, the citizens should have the freedom of speech and religion. And tying to this, if the government does decide that Native Americans living in the reservations should be government controlled, then they would still be able to express free speech and practice their religion without government interference. On the other hand, the government should be allowed to take action in certain circumstances or situations. For example, like criminal activity. If a Native American has been accused of a crime, their case should be tried by a judge in a courtroom and fall under the purview of a U.S. criminal justice system. They would adhere to the American laws just like other citizens and must be tried as citizens because they have granted citizenship. As like this ties into the next few slides where I talk about like why Native Americans should have um s- the same rights. This also ties in as like both Native Americans and citizens follow the same justice system, and if they get accused of a crime or anything. Should Native Americans be granted the same rights? The Native Americans should be granted the same rights because they do hold a United States citizenship. They would still be protected under all laws and be treated equally and fairly just like other citizens in the United States. Furthermore, if the government violates any of the laws, so here right now we're going to take Amendment 4, which protects the people from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. Then Native Americans can overturn that and say that, oh, like I've been protected by amendment. Like you can't just go searching around my house without a warrant. So the Native Americans are protected by Amendment 4, and the government has no right to do any unreasonable searches or seizures without a warrant. Moreover, there are so many tribes, such as like the Cherokee, that have blended into the American culture and following like the American culture style, such as wearing modern clothes or learning English, or it can be as simple as going to like more modernized schools compared to like the traditional schools they used to go to, where they would just learn at home. And while doing that, they still hold on to their tradition by, eating their food and celebrating their culture and their festivals. And so, to wrap it up, Native Americans should be treated fairly like U.S. citizens as they hold citizenship and should be granted equal rights and powers. And to sum it all up, they should still be following the same just criminal justice system if they get accused of anything such as a crime. And yes, governments should have power over Native American lands, and every Native American, and even if Native Americans are in that land, they should be free of right. Thank you.